Are you looking to become a yoga instructor and you don't know where to start? How do you become a yoga instructor?
Do you want a Yoga Alliance registered school to get a Yoga Alliance designation like the RYT 200? If that is important to you or not, because not all schools are accredited.
What format you want to take your training in?
Online yoga teacher training is by far the most accessible in terms of time and in terms of the cost. It is, there's often pre-recorded content. So say you have a day off, you wake up early in the morning and you can knock out a bunch of videos and tests, etc. online, and you can go at your own pace. So you do need to be highly self-motivated. Some of these online courses offer regular Zoom calls, so that does create some kind of connection and you are in touch with a live person. However, not all of them offer that. Also, you need to be tech savvy, because since there's not a lot of personal live contact with people during the course, if you have a technological glitch or you're not that tech savvy, it may be difficult for you to find someone to help you navigate that. Also, there is the idea of practical evaluations, which is part of the Yoga Alliance RYT 200. And in terms of how you learn, do you learn better if you're in a classroom with classmates and getting feedback from a teacher? Or do you perform better in private, recording the class, deleting it, re-recording it until it feels right for you? Different types of personalities, and you need to figure out which one would be best for you. Then there is something called the hybrid yoga teacher training. So that is something that is partially online and partially in person. So you have a certain number of hours in person, but you still have to be self-motivated to continue and do all of the content that is online. The advantage is that you still get to meet local people if this is a local hybrid teacher training program. And you get to kind of create your yoga family, even if you don't see them every week or every other week. The bulk of the content often is online. So again, self-motivation is key. A lot of trainings, not all of them, have regular Zoom calls as well, which is another way to connect. It is more money, more expensive than some of the trainings that are entirely online with no personal contact at all. In-person yoga teacher training. So this training is more expensive than the training that is hybrid and online. It is much more expensive than the training that is entirely online. There are different modalities with entirely in-person yoga teacher trainings. Some of them include online content, which is great. You can go back, you can review, and if you miss a class, you can look at the online content. But do ask the school what their policy is if you have to miss a class, because going every week for a full Saturday or a full Sunday can be a little intense and you may not always be available. Some schools are like, okay, catch up with your classmates. We have online content. However, there are other schools, like a school that I went to, I had to miss one of my training sessions because it was parent teachers night and I had to go to the school with my son. And she was like, oh, no problem, no problem. We'll meet another time and we'll go over the material. And that's all she said. And then I met with her and then she said, okay, it's X hundreds of dollars for this private session. And I had no idea that on top of paying upwards of $3,000, that if I met missed a session that I would have to pay her private fee to catch up. So ask. With in-person yoga teacher training as well, which this may be important for you, you form a connection with the teacher, but also with your classmates. Maybe you create your yoga family. Equally, that network of yoga teachers, they often give each other gigs and forward each other places that maybe they're not teaching at, or they are, and they need more teachers. So in terms of creating a local network, it is fantastic. Then there is travel yoga teacher training or yoga teacher certification intensive courses. So those kind of courses are great for people who have 1 month available. They have the time, they have the money at that time, and they can do it. And they've always been wanting to do it because they know in the future that they won't have that availability in time, or they suspect they won't have that availability in time. If it's a travel course, definitely price out the lodging, the airfare, the transport once you're there, local transport, and of course the food on top of the training. If it is with these travel trainings and the intensive, which is why I put them together, is that usually they are like an everyday 9 hours, 10 hours a day kind of thing, because the 200-hour course, or if you want to do the 500, which is the 300 on top of the 200, it is like every day and can be very stressful. Also, sometimes they don't have online content to back up and to review. And another inconvenience for some of us, not for all of us, is that when we travel and go away, there are people from all over that come together, which creates a certain magic, I have to say, because, I offer yoga retreats as well. And it is pretty wonderful that people come from different places and come together. However, if your priority is to teach locally, then, and you do a retreat, a travel retreat, then you won't be forming your local network of teachers who can support each other, give each other gigs, so you ask you to sub for them, and that. My name is Wendy, and I have the ERYT 200 and 500 designation from Yoga Alliance. I run a specialized school for yoga teacher training, and I also offer yoga retreats. If this video has been useful for you, please hit that like button